This is my 5th video in my 5-video series of preschool language and literacy games. Today's game is called Is That a Word? Featuring rhyming words that are dance themed. For this game, you are going to need 2 sets of alphabet cards that have been laminated. Right now, they are waiting to be laminated on Tuesday. So you'll have 1 set of capital letters and 1 set of lowercase letters. And you're going to use these letters to form words. So with the lowercase letters, you'll form the suffix or the rhyming part of the word. For example, you would form I and P in lowercase letters, and then a capital H would be the word hip. And then you would go around in your circle and have other children select letters to add to your word. So you would take out the H and you would add in an S, a capital S for sip. And then the next child would take out the S and then they would add in a D for dip. You can continue going around the circle until all the letters have been used. But it's important to make sure you ask, is this a word? And question it and make sure that children know which words are real and which words are not real. You can also, if you have an older set of students, play it with a whiteboard and write in lower and uppercase letters. Whoops, that needs to be an uppercase D. That way you can see all the words that they've already made. So that way you can continue creating new words, even if they're not real words. Who is ready to play? Is that a word? In order to play, I'm going to pretend that there are 8 people in my circle, just so you get a feel of how many things you can make with words. So, the first word I'm going to use is dance. So the first person in my circle could write, oh, that needs to be a capital letter. Chance. The second person in my circle could write brands. The third person in my circle could write glance. The fourth person in my circle could write prance. The fifth person in my circle can write stance. The sixth person in my circle could write trance. Now, my 7th person is a little smarty pants, and so they're going to write advance. I spelled that wrong. Apparently they're not as smart as I thought. Advance. Now number 8, he needs to take it down a step. So he's not sure what other words would rhyme with dance. So he's going to try the letter that starts with his name. Lance. A couple of other words you could try would be rants, or hants, or tants, or debants. If you're going to do this activity with whiteboards, I would suggest that you give each child their own whiteboard, because it takes a while to erase everything on the whiteboard, and that would be time consuming. Either that, or you prepare multiple whiteboards with the word and the number of each student. The next word I'm going to do is tango. Now, you may be thinking, there are not a lot of words that rhyme with tango. And there's a purpose to that. That's to help introduce playing around in this game by using other letters to create not necessarily real words. So you get some fun giggles and fun laughs within this game. Now, number one, he knows what he's doing. He finds one of the few words, and it's mango. And since number one already took mango, number two has to figure out another word to write. So we're going to go with sango. The third person in my circle is going to write bango or bango. Here would be another chance to talk about how some words look like they rhyme, but they don't sound like they rhyme. For instance, you wouldn't pronounce this as bango, but this word is tango. Bango would make it rhyme, but it looks like bango. The fourth person in my circle would write rango. Rango. The fifth person in my circle would write Oh, what about letter B? Bango. What other word does that sound like? Banjo. But banjo doesn't rhyme with tango. Nope. The sixth person in my circle would write dango. The seventh person in my circle has run out of options, and so being the clever person that he is, he's going to put Clango. See, I used the CL from clever, and I put it in tango. Calango. And tango? Yeah, I guess that would rhyme. Like I said, number 8 is also running out of options. And so he has to get creative as well. So he puts crango, like cranberry juice. But cranberry and tango don't rhyme. So we get stuck with crango. Now that was interesting, but fun. And I had a couple good laughs and giggles with myself. So once again, I'm going to take the time to erase all of this. So next I'm going to use the word from my example. Hip. My first person could write chip. My second person could write drip. My third person could write grip. My fourth person could write flip. My fifth person could write skip. My sixth person can write whip. Now my seventh person, he would write something cool, like spaceship. Now my eighth person, he still needs to take it down a step. And so he's going to think about it really hard and come up with lip. So once again, I'm taking the time to erase. We only have a couple more words to do, so that's good. Come back here. The next word I'm going to do is hop. My first person could write chop. My second person could write bop. My third person could write drop. That needs to be a capital D. My fourth person could write flop. My fifth person could write crop. My sixth person could write shop. Now my seventh person, that little smarty pants, is going to put non-stop. like these rhymes, are non-stop. Now, my number 8, he's still not quite understanding things, so he's going to take it down a step and go with lop. And lop is still a very good and valid response. The next word I'm going to do is spin. Now my first person could write chin. My second person could write bin, like a trash bin. My third person could write grin. My fourth person could write skin. My fifth person could write thin. Mentioning this word, now you can talk about your students and bring up the fact that not all dancers have to be thin. And so you could bring in that cultural aspect to your classroom. And how you address this will set the tone for your classroom as well. So you want to make sure you're very open about it and very accepting of all body types. Number 6. My sixth person could write twin. Oh, that needs to be a capital T. Twin. Now my seventh person, that little smarty pants, he could write violin. And finally, my eighth person, he's doing pretty good. And so, finally, my eighth person. Now he's been thinking long and hard about what he's going to write. And it's still down a step compared to the rest of my students. But he's still trying and participating. And that's fantastic. So he's going to write down Lynn, which is technically a name, so it still works. I mean, even if it wasn't a name, it would still be accepted as well. When you use the alphabet cards instead of using a whiteboard, it will help kids visualize forming the words more. And so you can think of that as a down step of using the whiteboards. Here's using the whiteboards. Here's using the alphabet flashcards. Another step up from the whiteboards would be passing around a shoe, a water bottle, or a smaller object like a ball, and just saying the words verbally instead of taking the time to go through the alphabet or writing them down. You can just say them verbally. Now, if you want to do a speed round, that would also be very cool. And you can use tracks like from Hot Potato. Just play the music, and then you'd pass it around while saying different rhyming words. And then when the music stops, you add a new word. And then they have to rhyme with that word as they pass it along. I hope you enjoyed playing Is That a Word?